Welcome back to Genre Off Book. I'm Elyse,
And I'm Katie.
and today we're talking to one of my best friends, Nicki. Hi, Nicki. Introduce
Hi,
yourself to everybody.
my name is Nikki. I've known Elise since we had some very millennial haircuts. Let's just leave it
Oh,
at
that's
that.
true. That's true. God, that's just coming. That's bringing it right back.
Bring it right back. And actually, we probably didn't meet in AP English, but that's where our friendship began to
Yeah,
foment, if you will. Um,
Mrs. Simonson,
Yeah.
Mr. Simonson. Yes, that was
R.I.P.
11th
Not
grade.
because, yeah, not because Mrs. Simonson's dead, but because she
Oh,
did get fired due to alcoholism. So I like to R.I.P. Mrs. Simonson.
yeah.
And what better lore for a book themed podcast than throwing it back to your lit teacher who got fired due to
So
alcoholism? Let's cheers
she
to
was.
that. You
Cheers.
really can't.
She was such.
You
She
can't.
was such a. She was such a good teacher, though. She was
Passionate.
great.
I
Passionate.
remember cutting class one time and coming to your English class
Hmm.
with Mrs. Simonson
Wow.
just
Yeah.
to chill. I think you guys were watching American History X, and I was like, I could pop into that for a little bit
Yeah.
for 42 minutes.
Everybody could sort of hang out in her class. She was one of those teachers where if like you didn't want to go to lunch and you
Yeah.
wanted to like eat in her room, she was like, "Yeah, no problem. Just if there's a class, sit in the back. Don't bother me. If there's not a class, just do whatever you want." She was great.
Yeah. I'm over
Apparently,
here drinking.
yeah, yeah. She's like, my water bottle's full of vodka. Things are going fine for me. Uh, Poor Mrs. Simonson.
Yeah.
Going back to reading, maybe what we got in Mrs. Simonson's class, what sort of got you into reading? Like, what were the first books you remember reading as a kid?
What got me into reading, I it's like asking me what got me into reading. I've always read. I can tell you the first book I read. Um, because I was living in my grandparents' basement with my mom and my brother. As you can imagine, not many people to read to me. Pure frustration. I read that Little Mermaid myself. It was The Little Mermaid. It was some kind of Disney movie-fied book, and from then on, I just always knew how to read. I don't remember ever learning how to read. I just remember I'm
Oh,
I gotta
A savant.
I remember being in 1st grade and having the First Start Easy Readers passed
hmm.
around, and
Yeah.
I would, like, match my pace to everyone else's because I was like, "I'm not gonna be the one to read this differently." So,
Yeah.
if everyone else is reading word by word, I'm gonna read word by word too. But I can tell you 2 things. I can tell you the first what got me into reading thrillers, which was my mom. So, my
Yeah.
mom wasn't a huge reader, but she used to read when she worked in the throughway, because you'd be sitting in the toll booth and you'd be
Yeah.
bored, a time before smartphones,
Yeah.
and she would read thrillers, and as a matter of fact, the collectors used to leave a little box of novels in the side of the lanes. There's, like, the little building where the
Yeah.
people who work there, that's, like, their home base, and they used to leave boxes there, and occasionally, like, in summer vacation, we would have to go to work with our parents for, like, when they would turn over their shifts, and I'd dig through the books. Not age appropriate. I was reading Sybil at, like, 9. That was not good. That was not
No.
good at all. Um, but I remember at a certain point, my mom started to get into Dean Koontz, and
Oh,
Okay.
Dean
yeah.
Koontz is one of those, authors that, like, when you read him at age, like, 11 and 12, you're like, "This guy is a genius." I'm not putting him down, I'm not putting him down. But there was one book that really stayed with me. Actually, I thought of before I came on here, I did a book audit because I
Okay.
looked at the questions you sent me and I was like, "I don't know what I have to say," because the thing about me reading thrillers is that I will immediately forget everything about them 9
Hmm.
times out of
Yes.
10 because it's just
Yeah.
entertainment to me.
Mm.
Only a few stand out in my mind. And one of them was probably, like, the first really good thriller I ever read, which was a Dean Koontz book, Intensity. I don't know if you guys know it. They made
No.
a
I don't
movie
think
out
I've
of
heard
it,
it.
probably a TV movie, probably in the '90s or early 2000s, and it's basically about this woman who grew up in, like, a single parent situation, lots of boyfriends coming in, she got really used to hiding, like, very traumatic childhood, went away to college or, like, got her first grown-up job, I don't remember, and made this really nice friend, just like a wholesome a Karen Moser, if you will, Elise, just like a
Mm.
really nice
Yeah.
person from a really good stand-up family, and this friend was like, "You could come home with me for Thanksgiving." Like, and the family welcomed her with open arms, and it's so heartwarming. And that night, she's going to bed in her guest room, and she hears a noise, a little tiny noise. And immediately, because she's been so traumatized, she like leaps up and she can sense that something isn't right in the house. So she hides under the bed. And as she's under the bed, she's cataloging. She said she's thinking, in fact, that she only brought one small suitcase and she stashed it in the closet. She didn't unpack anything. She's cataloging the fact that she went to the bathroom 2 hours ago, so the sink is probably dry. And then she's saying, "You're being crazy, you're being crazy." And then she hears the footsteps. So
Oh,
there is a killer in the house,
yes.
just serial killer. He kills the entire family.
Whoa,
Except
what?
except
This
her.
isn't a spoiler because it's the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
except her because he doesn't know she's there. There's no sign of her
yeah,
being there. And it's implied, that
perfect.
he stalked this family and he knows their comings and goings, but he didn't plan that there would be another person in the house. And she's hiding so well because she's so used to it. And there's a lot of tension, a lot of suspense as he enters the guest room and he's like sniffing the air and she's like vibing on his survival and he's vibing on her survival. But then I forget exactly the detail. There's some kind of, I don't know if she talks to him or like she's running around the house like looking to see if there's any survivors. She does talk to her friend as her friend is like dying. And she somehow comes to find out that he has someone. He's kidnapped a little girl. He like admits it at some point in his killing spree, so she sneaks into his van because she knows that by the time she calls the police, he's gonna be gone. And that is the beginning of the book. And whew,
What?
it goes from it is in the book is literally
Damn,
named Intensity. So you
Yeah.
can see
that's
it's really
intense.
good. It's good.
I know that you read thrillers the way that I read romance,
Yes.
which is you'll read the really good ones and then you'll read the Kindle Unlimited ones that you can't
Mhm.
you can't even recommend to anybody. You read them, you forget about them, and that is so insane to me because Katie likes thrillers,
Yeah.
even though she's sort of moved away from them as she's gotten older, although I feel like she's getting back into them with the
I'm
podcast.
getting back into it, but it scared me. Like,
Yeah.
started to scare me when I would be living alone or being in quiet
Mm.
places. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I have to stop reading
Yeah. I
thrillers,"
get that.
and honestly, could be where my true crime obsession comes from. I'm not entirely sure, but I
Yeah.
had to take a break, a little bit of break.
So there was one Kindle Unlimited that I read. And like when people are like, "I liked this band before it was cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
actually, there's
Yeah.
2. Technically, I wasn't gonna talk about this one, but they made the Netflix series
Yeah.
out of it. That was a
Yeah.
Kindle
Yeah.
Unlimited. That was a Kindle Unlimited. Yes,
No.
it
You
was.
know what? That
Yes,
doesn't
it was.
surprise me.
The first book. And I remember reading it and being like, "This book is actually really cool. What a cool concept." Like, he's talking
Yeah.
and, I really
Like,
like that.
to
But
the
the
audience the entire
Right,
time.
right. It
Yeah.
was and it's, like, kinda smart, and tried to read some of, like, the sequels, like, as it goes on, and those were, like, it's too much now. I don't I'm not feeling it. I can't, like, get into his mind anymore, but the first one, you're like, "I don't know. I'm not cheering for you, but I'm kinda cheering for you because I'm in your
Yeah.
mind." So I did enjoy that. The other Kindle Unlimited book that I read, this is probably the scariest book I've read as an adult in terms of, like, suspense, because a lot of times when I'm reading a thriller, there's a small thrill, but with reading, it's not like watching a movie and you're like on the
Ye
edge of your seat. That very rarely happens to me. There could be intrigue. I would say like intrigue more than like suspense and fear. This book had me scared. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of a similar concept to Intensity, but it's about this, it's called No Exit, and they made a movie out of this one too. I forget what it's on, maybe Netflix as well, but it's not as much acclaim as you. And the premise is that a girl is driving home in a snowstorm from college. Her mom is sick or her grandma's sick or something. Like she wants to get home. Blizzard, has to finally pull in at a rest stop. And as she's getting out of her car, she sees this van, like a creepy van, a creepo van. And I forget,
Elyse is familiar, yes.
you know this one.
Well, 'cause
Oh,
well, no, I'm not familiar. I just used to drive a windowless white
oh,
van
right,
for a
right.
period
Well,
of time, and so
there is, I believe, a window in it, or I forget how she does this. She is able to peek in. Oh, I think there's, like, curtains on the window, and she just sees very, very briefly the curtain draw back, and there's this girl's face, and, like, she's clearly, like, handcuffed or something like that, and then it disappears,
Ooh.
terrifying.
and she's like, "What?" So she goes in the rest stop, and there's only a few other people in the rest stop. And then it's kind of like a locked door mystery. It's like, who is the owner of that van? What do I do? Because now we're all snowed in here and you can't
Mm.
leave. And there's like all the twists and turns. Like, who is it? who has this kidnapped child? What do I do about it? And ooh, it is scary because you just feel that urgency to get out of this situation, and it seems like there's no way out whatsoever.
I mean, think about being snowed in at a rest stop.
Yes.
That
No.
seems
Yes. Already
horrifying.
bad.
No, thank you.
Already
Already a nightmare.
really,
Mhm.
really bad.
And there's
Mhm.
a killer
Yeah.
On the
underneath.
loose.
And what the author does with it is it just gets progressively scarier and worse. It's not like one of those things where it's like, there was a misunderstanding and things aren't so bad. It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh my god, that's fun.
Yeah.
That I can't. Well, so obviously your favorite genre is thrillers. This is
Or
the
is it? So now I'm going to come back.
I
This is
know.
my
Okay.
twist.
Come
This is
back.
what I
Okay.
teased. Okay. So first, I want to remind you of another story about Sid. So I'm sure you guys have already heard me complain about this. This is a pet peeve of mine. My husband Sid has been to hu- literally uncountable fish
Yeah.
concerts,
Yeah.
Sure.
hundreds.
Yeah.
He is the type of person who, when he was in high school, looked up the number of absences you're allowed to have and still pass your
Okay.
grade, and then had that many to go to fish concerts.
Interesting. I did the same thing, but not
Not
for
for
fish
fish.
concerts.
Okay.
Just
So,
just
okay.
to not go to school.
Just to not go to school.
But when you ask Sid, "What's your favorite band?" He's like, "You too." It made me so mad. How is you
What?
two your favorite band? When we're in the car, we're listening to Fish. When you're going out with your friends, you're going to Fish. But I've realized something. I have to eat crow right now because it's the same thing happening to me right now. What am I reading all the time? Thrillers. What am I seeking out to read? Thrillers. But when you ask me what's my favorite genre, I have to think about a book that actually touched me in a way, like changed me, made me think that I can remember the details. I do have a couple of good thrillers I can recommend. I just spoke about them, but when I actually sat down and made my list, because I started tracking my reading in like 2020 or 2021, I think, a lot of the books fell in another genre, my
This
all-time
is
favorite books, and you're
this is a
never going to
twist
guess
and
what
a
the
half.
genre is.
I
No.
better I
I
if
have
you
no
say
idea. I
romance, I'm gonna be like, I
It's
don't
not
know who
romance.
Nikki is.
no. I don't think it's romance. It's probably not fantasy or anything like that. I don't think you don't love a
Is it like
dragon.
self-help?
No. No. I uh, I don't know. Nikki, tell us.
It's historical fiction.
Oh my god. So, no, I
What?
wouldn't have said that. But are
What?
we talking like the Nightingale historical fiction?
So I will tell you my some of my top favorite books.
Okay.
One of my top favorite books of all time. This is kind of a stretch. Technically, this isn't historical fiction because when it was written, it was contemporary, but when I was reading it, it was very historical.
Okay.
A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I read
Okay.
that when I was 11. My uncle
Okay.
John gave me a copy, and it was one of my all-time favorite books. I used to reread it like every single year. So that one's a little bit of a stretch, but if you think about a girl reading that in the 1990s, about a girl growing up in the 1900s, it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like fiction that happens in a different a historical period.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite book as an adult, I guess, is City of Thieves. I don't know if you guys know this
I know
one.
that. I've heard, yeah.
I don't know if I have.
Opening
I want to
line is, "You've never been so hungry, you've never been so cold." It's about the siege of
Oh,
Leningrad, and that
okay.
just really captured me because I like reading and as an escape, and, like,
Yeah.
I like reading something like that and being warm and full,
Yeah.
not to be a jerk. Like, it's a
Yeah.
nice little escape.
Yeah.
Also, I have, like, a weird interest in, a few historical periods that I've realized based on my favorite
Tell
books,
us.
which is like Soviet Russia. I don't know. There's not a lot of good books about it out there, but every time I see one, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta read that."
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And the Irish Famine, I've read about a lot of good books placed in the Irish Famine. So that's my other
Okay.
book that I really like. It's a book called Grace, which there's a million books called Grace. So I think I wrote down the author somewhere. Paul Lynch. And that is a
Okay.
really good
Okay.
book. It's about this girl who it's like the myths of the Irish famine, and her mom just sends her and her little brother out of the house, like, "Just go, because there's nothing for you here, like, and I'm not strong enough to walk." And so they just start walking the road, and apparently this is what a lot of Irish people did at a certain point in the famine. They just migrated because there was no food where they were at, so they just started walking to find food, and they didn't know where they were going. Um
Oh
And
god.
it's kind of like, I believe maybe it's a little bit inspired by the Odyssey in some ways, like the people she encounters on the way and the
Oh,
adventures that she
okay.
Oh,
has. But
that's
there
very
is
fun.
a really kind of sad and poignant part, which I don't know if I want to give a spoiler, but to do with her
Don't
brother.
you?
I will just say that
Okay.
Okay.
to do with her brother. And when you kind of figure out what's really going on with that, you're just like, "Oh my god." And just, ugh, very emotional, but the writing is beautiful, the characters are really, they really leave a mark with you. So, when I was looking at this list, I was like, "Is historical fiction my favorite genre?" Even though I don't read a ton of it, because it's the genre that makes has the highest body count on my all-time favorites list.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? That's
Oh,
a really good question because I think about this a lot too. Because I definitely read the most romance, right? Like, that's what I'm reading in the same way you're reading thrillers. Sometimes they're
Yes.
good, sometimes they're not good, and if they're good, I'll recommend them. But a lot of the times, they're just for me. But now, particularly with this podcast, I've really had to, like, think and expand a little bit, and I always say my favorite genre is fantasy, not even romantasy, but, like,
Mm,
high fantasy, because those are the
mhm.
books that started me reading. Like, those are the oldest books that I still carry around with me, that, like, I have, like, in physical copy, that I think about all of the time, and now
yep.
that I'm trying to expand a little bit outside, I do find myself gravitating towards more of those types of books, but still, I mean, if we're going number of books in a genre, romance wins. If we're going highest rated or, like,
Ooh.
That's
favorites,
it.
I think another one wins,
Different
which is a
data
very
points.
interesting way of looking at it.
Yes.
Wait, then
Yeah.
let me ask you this, Nikki. Do you think that thrillers are your comfort genre,
Oh,
maybe?
yeah. It's entertainment for me. I read as my preferred form of entertainment, and I'm not saying that because I'm, like, so intellectual. It's just where I'm comfortable doing,
Yeah.
like, I'm very comfortable to sit, but, like, the entertaining books that I read are not so intellectual. Like, it's
Yeah.
sometimes more it's easier for me because I read so much as a kid. Like, this is something that I would do. I would just be in my room reading, 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 reading. Um,
Yeah.
you didn't have access to as many distractions, I guess, or like easier
Yeah,
forms of
that's true.
media. Like, obviously, we had TV, and my parents were not strict about TV, but there's only so many shows you can watch in the 90s. Like, your shows aren't on all day. It's not like now when you have
Yeah.
Yeah.
streaming and stuff like that. You don't have like
Yeah,
the
that's true.
internet to entertain you. And I was I like that kind of passive entertainment. I wasn't running track or anything like that. I was reading.
No, we
Yeah.
weren't doing sports.
So,
Wait, are you a true cri do you, like, love true crime?
yes, I do like true
Okay.
crime, but sometimes the true crime books are they lose my interest. Like, I don't like reading about trials. Like, that's very boring to me. So sometimes
Mhm.
I start a
I
really
don't
good
like that
true crime
either.
book, and then
Mhm.
half the book is about the trial, and I'm like, I don't care." Like, they get into the really
I
nitty-gritty.
100% agree. It's like war. Like, once you get to, like, the
Yes.
war in a book, whether it's, like,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
fantasy or what I'm like, "Okay, okay, we're battling here."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel the same
I will
way.
tell you a really good true crime book. This was the I think it's just called, like, The American Father or Perfect Father, the one about, what's his name? Chris Watts. Did you read that
Oh,
one?
yeah. I didn't
Oh
read it, but
my
I mean, I know all
god.
about it. Yeah.
I'll get the
First of
name of
all,
the
that
book.
story is
I mean,
devastating. It's
it's did you watch the documentary?
oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
I I mean, watching somebody that you know is guilty and then watching body cam footage of that
yes.
person lying about everything you know at this point has
Mhm.
already happened is fascinating. It is
Yeah.
like a fascinating study on human behavior.
Yeah. Is it The Perfect Father?
I think that's it,
The
yeah, The
the
Perfect
true crime
Father.
of
Right.
Chris Watts, his
Yeah.
All-American Family, and the shocking murder by
Yep.
John Glatt in
That was
2020?
the one that I just read, and I just, like, from start to finish, I was like, "Holy shit, what is happening here?"
Yeah.
Um, what was the other good one I read?
I don't know if I know. Here's the thing about me is that unless Katie tells me about a true crime, I miss it.
She
True
misses it.
I miss it. True crime goes right across my desk. I have to ask Katie questions all the time. It doesn't touch any sort of social media algorithm.
Get it?
Like, I'm obviously not looking for it, so that happens, but it doesn't even hit, like, if I'm
It
on,
just
like,
finds
my
me.
New York Times app. I'm not even getting that on there. Like, the universe knows I'm uninterested in true crime, but maybe I should be, 'cause when Katie recounts it to me, I find it
It's
fascinating. It's like when
Have
somebody recounts
disturbing.
a reality TV show to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I
have
don't
you read, I'll Be Gone in the Dark
I can't
by
read that one.
Michelle?
I don't think I can read that one. It's too disturbing for me. That like, that's where I got sensitive as an adult, because
Oh,
I listened to
interesting.
My Favorite Murder when
Of
that book
course.
was coming out around
I know.
2018.
Oh,
I remember because I was
yeah.
postpartum, and this is what kept me sane, was I actually listened to My Favorite Murder for, like, 6 hours straight when I was in labor. I was walking up and down Shore Road trying to bring the contractions on and listening to My
Oh my
Favorite
god.
Murder to
I
distract
love it.
myself.
Karen in Georgia would be so happy to hear that.
Yes, yes, that was, and then, like, postpartum with a lot of the screaming and having the earphones in and being like, we're just thinking about murder, we're not thinking about
Yeah.
how hard life is right now." That and I remember hearing a lot about it, and every
Yeah.
detail that came out, I'm like, I'm too scared about this. It's I don't wanna
Is that
know."
the is that
It's
the
like
Golden Gate the Golden Gate Killer
Yeah,
and the
the
he
woman
was
who investigated it,
the
and then
Golden
she went
State Killer
insane?
by
Okay,
Michelle no, by
sorry.
Michelle McNamara, and Michelle McNamara, um, author journalist, she ended up dying during writing that book. Before that book came out, her husband, Patton Oswalt, and the folks that she worked some of the detectives and other investigative journalists that she wrote with ended up publishing the book on her behalf. And she was instrumental in getting, like, the right attention and the right people talking about genealogy and how you could use that in an investigative world, and that's how they ended up finding who the Golden
How
State
did
Killer was.
how did she die? Was
she
it
was sick, right?
It
Sick
was
or
no,
something?
it was
Oh.
a accidental overdose.
I
Um,
didn't realize that.
yeah,
I thought there was something having to do, or at least whether or not this is true, but the story is that the fact of writing this book and working on this case, like, hit her so hard that she was on medication and things like that, like, she was just taking meds for it. It was like it was ruining her mental health is what I
I
imagine, and then therefore accidentally overdosed, but I don't know if that's true. I'm not
yeah,
positive.
I mean, all I think we really know is that she accidentally overdosed on prescription medication. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, Katie,
And then
I
they
have
caught the Golden State Killer.
yes,
They
But
caught
then they
them, right?
yes.
Mostly
Paul
because of
Holes,
her,
baby. Paul
and because of
Holes.
her, right?
Because of her,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's an amazing
She
story.
she actually coined the Golden State Killer, like, that name.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
She coined
She
that name. Yeah.
That's bananas.
It's an incredible book because it's not only about, obviously, her investigation, but also a little bit about personally what she was going through as she was investigating it. It was interesting look into kind of her life and how she really was consumed by this case. Very
Mhm.
very fascinating, and obviously a very disturbing crime, but, it was what, 30 years later that they ended up catching this guy? So,
Yeah.
it brought the right attention, so I thought it was a great read.
Speaking of true crime, Katie, I have a
Mhm.
recommendation for you. I have a book
Oh,
recommendation for you. It is a
tell me.
thriller mystery. You know what, Elise? I think I have to say maybe we could better define my genre as mystery, but not like the stodgy old lady mysteries. Like a
Yeah. Not
thrilling
Okay.
like
mystery.
not Agatha Christie. There's a little bit more of a thriller aspect
Right.
to your mystery,
I do
but
Okay.
you do wanna figure something out by the end of
yes.
it.
That is
Okay.
Mhm.
exactly it. So this book is called the This Book Will Kill Me. That is the title. Have you heard of it?
Mm,
It's a fiction book,
it's
but it's about a youngish woman. I believe she's grieving her dad, actually, and she's just like not doing well. Somehow she finds herself on some kind of true crime forum and finds she has a knack for it. And she winds up being asked to join this like elite group of like true crime internet detectives. And they begin working on a
My
case.
dream.
Yes, a case that is, like, very similar to the Idaho murders in the book, and then
Wow.
they become, like, semi-famous, and it, like, there's twists and there's turns and there's a mystery to solve. I did predict the
Ooh.
twist, not to brag, but I
Wait,
really
sorry,
enjoyed it.
Is it
Is it
This Book Will Bury Me?
Yeah,
This book will bury me. I'm sorry.
Ashley
Yeah. Yes,
Winstead.
yes, yes, yes. This book will bury me. That's what it
Ooh,
is.
that sounds
okay.
fun.
This sounds like a really I'm gonna
Yes.
favorite this. I wanna read this.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
me too.
speaking about the Idaho murders, that was one because again, it true crime misses me, and
Yes.
while it was right after they found the guy, and me, Katie, and Brianna and Brianna likes true crime, but it's not like her passion by any means, but, she's a
It's big
journalist.
cases,
She's
right?
like it
It's
was a
big
big case,
cases.
like, so she
Yeah.
was involved in it, and we're drinking wine, and they're talking about it, and I'm like, "Guys, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?" And they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what's happening. Would you like to tell me about it from the very beginning?" And they were both like, "Absolutely." Everybody,
Nothing
Yes.
let's
will
get another glass
please
of
me
wine,
more.
like, than to discuss this true crime event with you. And that's how I like to hear about these things,
Mm,
Yeah.
much like I like to hear about reality TV. I just
yes.
like somebody to
Secondhand.
tell me about it. I want somebody
Yeah.
passionate about it to tell me about it. And that's my favorite way of learning.
What about Sloanham Woods 9? Did you read that one, Katie? That's the one. This is about that weird Sarah Lawrence cult. This is a very strange
Ooh,
story.
I do
Oh,
love
no,
cults.
Elise knows it. I
Because we
explained this.
watched it, right?
No, no, no.
And
So this was, I
oh
actually
my god.
didn't read the book, but there was a My Favorite Murder episode, and I remember listening to it on my way to work. And then for whatever reason, me and Elise were driving down to Delaware, and during that 4-hour drive, I was like, "Elise," I had to listen to it again. I was like, "I can't
That's
stop
fine.
thinking about this episode
So
that
weird.
happened at Sarah Lawrence,
It
like,
Yeah.
up the street from us. How did we not
The whole thing is
know or
so weird.
hear
Like,
about this?"
why did they all randomly start listening to the dad? Like, the book explains it, I
I
think, a little
know.
better than there was also a docu-series, I believe,
I
about
think
it.
I
we
watched the
watched
Okay.
that
documentary.
too, because
Yeah,
after
we
she made
watched
me
that.
listen to My Favorite Murder, I watched
Mhm.
that. I do love cults. That is a
I like
that's a
cults
subgenre in
too.
here that I
You
like a
know,
cult.
I
I like a
literally just talked to my therapist. We were talking about cults today, and I said, "This is so weird. I haven't talked about this Sarah Lawrence thing in so long." And we were talking about, I was talking about Sarah Lawrence. I was talking about the Nixium or, you know,
Oh,
Nexium.
yes.
Nexium.
Nexium
Um,
really had my attention for a while.
yeah, we were just talking about cults. Yeah, it's crazy.
I had a lot of cult thrillers on my list. Those ones tend to
Okay.
scare me. There's a recently
Oh.
a very good, scary in a good way book called We Are Watching. And this is
Oh.
about
Oh, I don't that already gives me the shivers.
I know.
it is very spooky because it's kind of was like maybe maybe you have a reason to be paranoid, maybe they are all out to get you kind of thing. And it's like it goes deep and then it's just like this woman thinks that she's being stalked by a cult or she doesn't know she's being stalked by a cult, but then like you start to see all the pieces together and you don't know what's going to happen and it's very very spooky like it gets under your
Ooh.
skin. That was a good thriller I read recently.
If we were to say I guess you can pick whether or not it's mystery or it's historical fiction. What do you think the biggest misconception about those genres are?
Um I think there's a misconception that historical fiction is like always about a romance because I
Oh.
think I
Oh,
hold that
okay.
conception too and I think that's maybe why I never like admitted to myself that I like historical fiction. But I also think there's some truth to that because when you're in the library browsing, a lot of times I pick up a book and it's like if the center of this narrative is a romance, I'm gonna put it back down. Guys, I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't even explain
It's
it.
okay.
I
That's
realize
same
it.
with
I
me.
just
Same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me.
No,
but
I'm outnumbered in
you're
this
really
particular
outnumbered.
forum
You're
Yeah.
when
really
it comes
outnumbered.
to romance, for sure. Yeah.
I made a list of genres that I've dipped my toe in, and I had, like, 1 book that I liked from genres I don't normally read. There was nothing
Yeah.
for romance.
Yeah.
There was one
Wait.
that you could kinda call it romance. This is a really good book. I put it under
Uh,
sci-fi. This Time Tomorrow, have you guys read that one? It's
no,
a
wait, but
Oh,
I just saw what Elise did there and I was like, I wanna talk about this too,
wait,
but
what did
go
she
ahead.
do?
yeah.
You just
I
pulled a
pulled a
sh
book. I
Oh,
pulled a book off the shelf, but wait,
yeah,
what was
but
the last
please.
one that you read? But with the sci-fi, what was it? What did you
it's
say it
called
was
This
called?
Time Tomorrow,
Okay.
and it's just a really fun book about this. Like, I don't know if it's a little bit deep. It's fun, but it's kinda sad at the same time. And this woman, she lives in New York City. It's one of those books that take place in New York City, but everyone is not rich. I always appreciate that. Always appreciate
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
And her
Yep.
dad has, I'm trying to remember if it's Alzheimer's or another kind of degenerative condition. He's
Oh,
not doing too
yeah.
well. He lives by himself, and she randomly discovers that there's this garage or something on his property where if you go in there on your birthday, you'll go back in time to another year on your birthday. It sounds
That's fun.
very silly.
What?
It sounds very silly, but it works. It works. And
Okay.
Mhm.
I like
it
that.
doesn't feel as silly when you're reading it. And as she's going through and she realizes like, "Hey, I can change the outcome of my future if I make certain decisions." Typical time traveler's dilemma. Um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is when she starts to experiment with different things, and you think it might start to be a romance. There are romantic things happening, but it is trope defying. It is very trope defying, and that's why I love it,
Okay.
with no spoilers. Um, I really love where this book took their theme,
Yeah.
and even though it was sci-fi, I stuck with it. Oh, Time Traveler's
All right.
Wife! I read that a million years ago. That's a romance. I did
Yeah.
like it. There it is. Okay.
I don't know if I
Put
love
it on the list.
yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Katie needs, as I've learned,
I think. Wait, can I?
we can say,
We have
come
a
tell her to
guest
say hi.
star. Wait, why don't you okay, she just came from
Wait,
Taekwondo.
let's
You wanna brush
speak
your
it.
hair or something before you get on camera?
Hey, Lainey.
Hi.
Hi, Lainey.
Huh? They can hear you.
I
Yeah,
may
we can
look
hear you.
like a boiling egg because I just did dodgeball, but I'm gonna brush my hair.
Okay. You
Okay.
can brush your
Okay.
hair. Bring your book in.
Wait,
But wait.
Elyse, can we recommend
Yeah, because I
wait.
think you need romance, much like Katie. You need your romance to be higher stakes. You don't want it to be the A
Okay.
plot. You're not reading a romance. But if there's going to be at least a B plot romance,
Mhm.
then it needs to be a high stakes one. And
Yes.
what I mentioned this when I saw you last week, but here it is again. It's called How to Kill a Guy in
Yes.
10 Days.
Yes, I wanna read that.
And yeah, and
Okay.
this is a horror rom-com, so it's really doing both things. It's doing both things.
Yes.
Like it's a horror movie,
Okay.
but it's also a rom-com, and it opens up with the main character. The first chapter is basically her master's thesis in film studies and how rom-coms and horror movies are essentially the same. Like they're
Yes.
doing the same thing, they're
Yes.
hitting the same
Ye
centers,
Mhm.
yeah.
just in different ways. And I'm like, I really feel like you would like this. And this is like such
Your
It's
a
such
timing.
a
contemporary
Yes.
romance like sort of view that you would never read. You'd never necessarily pick this up, but I think you're gonna like it.
Well, your
it's
timing is impeccable because I just recently
yeah.
discovered this subgenre of, like, horror black comedy, which I would have never said I'm interested in,
Yeah.
but I read this one author, L.M. Chilton. He wrote
Okay.
Swiped, and he wrote Everyone in the Group Chat Died. I loved them both.
Oh, I've seen everyone in or maybe you told me everybody in the
I
group
think
chat
I
died.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, hi,
Hi.
lady.
Alright.
Hi, Lainey.
So we have an
Hi
author
did
here.
I wanna hear about Lainey's book. Lainey's published a book.
So before I swipe the headphones, I'll just say that there is a book that she published, which is good. But I personally think that she should talk to you today about her book, which is a very unique concept called Diary of Asthma.
Oh.
And this
Oh.
is a story told from the point of view of the disease asthma
Okay.
that
Okay.
wants to leave Sydney Isaacson and go on vacation so that we can get a dog. Lainey, take it away.
Yeah.
Tell them about Diary of Asthma.
Yes. Tell us all about Diary of
Yeah.
Asthma, Lainey.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. So basically, so you know my dad has asthma, right?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been noticing that I've always wanted a dog. And after I went to meet the breeds, I saw the Brussels Griffon. And
Oh.
Ooh.
I fell in love with it. It's
Mhm.
very gentle because I gave it a treat. It didn't bite me because usually other dogs bite me when I give them a treat. And then um you
Me?
yeah, you showed me that well, you told me
Yes.
that there is something called a brug, and it's a mix with
Ooh.
Brussels Griffon and Pug.
A bug.
Oh. And we know you love a pug.
We love
Yeah,
bugs.
You
No,
and your
we love
mom are pug.
bugs.
I mean, we love pugs too, but no
yeah.
one loves a pug like your mom loves a pug. She's the number one pug lover. You're the number two.
So, um, I wrote a book of us getting a dog. So it's basically the story of how my dad had asthma. So I just wrote like it was basically a timeline from me being in fifth grade because because you were being annoying about you were being annoying because you said you can't get the dog until we were 5th
You gotta be
grade.
able to walk it.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
Anyway, moving on. The Diary
Anyway.
of Asthma. Tell them about.
So, uh, so basically it starts here is asthma. He's in my dad's body and he wants to go to Australia.
Oh,
But in the book, it's told from the point of view of the asthma, and the asthma is saying that he wants to leave Sydney Isaacson so he could go on vacation to
to
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like his diary. So the asthma is writing diary entries about this.
So
Funny.
That is
so basically
very cool.
the book is just about me. Well,
It's about
it's
the asthma.
like so this chapter is just about me like worrying about the asthma and wanting to get a dog. So I just asked my dad, "How's your asthma? Is it okay?" And then he answers like, "Fine, you don't have to worry about it." So and like I of course I have to worry about you because like, I want a dog and he's my
And you love your
dad.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then it came from me like when I was 7 to me in 5th grade. So that's in the next chapter.
Oh,
And
cool.
and the next chapter is about us getting the dog.
So this
And
is this still you're still
Are you still
writing this
writing it,
book?
or is it a complete
I'm
book, or
still
you're still
writing
writing?
this book, but
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna share
Okay.
all my ideas for the whole book. It's a
Cool.
series that I wrote. So
Unbelievable.
That's a great
And you
idea.
like the diary of a series. That's like a popular young
Ti
fiction chapter book. There's Diary of a Unicorn, Diary of a Pug.
Okay.
Very good
di-
Oh,
series.
We
diary
love.
of an
Owl.
owl diaries.
Owl Diaries, yes.
mhm.
What would you say your favorite genre is, Lainey?
What do you mean?
Your favorite genre of book? Do you like graphic novels the best?
Yes, I also like comics too.
Oh,
Okay. That's
Yeah.
very
Cool.
cool. I
What are
remember we went to Barnes& and Noble one time, and you were looking at the Babysitters Club graphic
Yeah.
novels. Are those
Yeah.
still your favorite, or do you like other ones too?
So I like the Babysitters Club, but I'm also getting into you don't know about them, but in school there's in my classroom we bookshop for books and there's this really good series called Erie Elementary. It's like there's a
Ooh.
person named Orson Erie who's actually the school and they just try to and so there's 3 hall monitors. Their names are Sam, Lucy, and Antino, and then they just keep fighting the school. And the book I'm on is Sam Battles the Machine. It's a really good book. I just started the book. So far, all I'm reading is that. So first, all I know that Sam, Lucy, and Tino are having a substitute for the whole week, and they're like all excited
Ooh.
because
Yeah.
mhm.
teacher was like, history, 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 blah blah blah. One times blah 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 is blah blah blah, and all that stuff because they're like tired of that. But when the new substitute came in,
Part of it.
so you know that Orson Erie is the school. There was
Yeah.
a
Mhm.
guy who came in as a substitute who looked just exactly like Orson Erie, and and Sam was like, "That looks like Orson Erie," and then but then he was like, "Nah, probably just my imagination acting up. I think there's gonna be a problem soon, but we'll solve it." So, and then and then the substitute wrote his name on the chalkboard, Mr. Erie. That's all I read.
Ooh.
That's all I read.
Cliffhanger.
Okay.
So would you say this book is spooky?
Yes, it's a
Mm.
very good series.
Ooh.
Do you think they're gonna be solving a mystery?
I was gonna say,
Mhm.
like mother, like daughter, at least a mystery, a spooky mystery. That's what your mom likes to read too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Hino thinks he's a zombie, but, like,
Whoa.
I don't know. Because in the last book, school freezes over before that. So Orson Yerry's plan was, becoming in its human form. And it was like
Oh.
it was like a snow day that day, but they still went to school. So, like
What?
yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know why. It's just
Hmm.
weird.
Yeah.
that school is always weird. So so Orson just had a plan. Oh, wait, in the book before that, um, Orson fell in love with the science book, of all his plans to becoming alive again, and
Oh,
Oh,
they
maybe
just took
okay,
that's
okay.
how.
yeah, they just took pictures of, like, his clues and where, like, some mysterious switches are because they can't just hold on to that book because Orson tried to steal it, of
No.
course, so they just have to
Yeah.
take pictures anyway.
So it's a mystery. So we're solving mysteries here.
Yeah, and then so in School Freezes Over, they figured out that there's, like, a so they figured out in the book that if he if the weather is 13 degrees, Orson Erie will become in his human form again.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
AKA the substitute teacher.
So, like, they
Right.
kept fighting and they kept trying to fight at the school until, Antino got, like, locked in the bathroom, and he was, like, frozen, like, completely frozen like a popsicle, and
Oh my That's silly.
well, he knows a lot about weather science, so he knows that salt will always cure the cold, like, if you pour salt on
Mhm.
him, then
Oh, yeah,
he'll
yeah.
then the ice
He'll
will melt.
melt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Wow.
tried that from the lunchroom, it was very hard, and then, there was, like after that, there was a big, big snowstorm. Orson Erie was, like, the snowstorm fighting them, and, the end.
Yep.
Sam defeated it, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Sam
like,
won at
of
the end.
course.
Yeah, well, that's sounds like a really good book series. I can't
That's
wait to hear more
awesome.
about it.
Thank you for sharing that.
Lainey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. That was so good. Thank you for coming on. I'm so happy.
Oh
That
my god,
was
that was
too
so
adorable.
cute.
That was too adorable. That was I mean,
And you know
also,
the
though,
end.
what a
I know the end.
How could you
they
not?
how could you
Sam.
not? She
Sam
you know
got him.
what? She already has a pretty good grasp of genre theory. She doesn't
I
know the
know.
word yet, but she has a pretty good grasp because, of course, Sam's gonna win at the end. Of course.
Right.
Obviously, she
Yeah,
says.
of course.
Oh my god, that's so good.
But, like, she does love the same books that I mean, like, she also likes
Yes,
like
Goosebumps
scary
graphic
movies.
novels. She's
Yeah.
reading Goosebumps graphic novels. Also,
Spooky.
what's that other one? Fear? What's it called? The other one that you like?
Oh,
The
Notebook of Doom?
no, the Creepover.
Notebook.
Creepover. That's another graphic
Oh,
novel.
okay.
Yep.
oh, I don't know
Um,
that.
it's a newer series, and they don't have happy endings. Like they have the endings where like the
Oh.
monsters win.
Like when they turn into a vampire, they turn into a doll.
Yeah, there's one where
Oh.
like the best
Oh.
friend with the
Whoa.
creepy doll collection is successful at stealing the main character's soul and putting it in a doll. And now she
Oh,
joined the doll collection, and that's the end of the children's book.
that's
So
Like, it
Oh,
doesn't
that's
have
haunting.
that's Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, I remember
Yeah.
watching Are You Afraid of the Dark as a kid, I'm like, "I don't like this because the children are constantly losing."
yeah,
Yeah. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
yes,
That's
very
so
true.
true.
Alright, but that makes sense, though, because is like a little mini you.
Yeah,
So, it makes sense that she likes the things that you like. So
She's so
we do
cute.
love spooky.
yeah.
You love spooky stuff around here.
No.
Wait, it's like Nikki is saying yes, Lainey is saying
Saying
no.
no.
And Sid is
Yeah.
like, what am I supposed to do here? Well, maybe we'll have one more question for mom.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, go I think Lainey's gonna take a bath, but and then if we're still on when you come back, then yeah, they have
Yeah.
to but that's one thing that I learned from you and Lainey, honestly, is that a lot of the sort of like classic kids books that we think of are now in graphic novel
Yeah.
form. So they're
Yes,
Yeah.
selling
that's
them
like a
all in
really
graphic
cool
novel
thing.
form, and there's so much writing in it. It's not like necessarily like comic book.
Right,
It's
right.
just like really like well illustrated,
Yeah,
I
paragraph
love
on
that.
every page.
I
I think it's so cool.
I love that because I feel like Kelly's daughter, Ava, also loves
mhm,
graphic novels. And I didn't know that those were even a thing, but I think it gets kids reading at a younger age because, like you said, there's still
yes,
pictures, but it's like it's I mean, there's it's like chapter books essentially, but they're still able to follow along in a much easier way, and I love that. I remember in kindergarten where we used to have these picture books that, like, lived in this little section of the classroom, and I would pick them up and I would kind of group them all together because at that time I was a bit of an advanced reader, and so I would, like, put them in each other to be like, "Look at how big this book is that I'm reading,"
Oh,
and
Oh,
I
you
thought that
wanted
that was so cool because I
I
wanted, like, a
got
thick
you.
book. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, "I
yeah,
can
yeah.
read a
I
thick
got
book."
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the graphic novels thing is very big for kids right now, and as a matter of fact, the first, I guess, graphic artist who started to adapt the Babysitters Club series is very famous, and, like, not just in, like, these, like, niche oh, like, Raina Telgemeier. I know because I saw randomly that she was speaking at Barnes& and Nobles, in Union Square, and I was like, "Oh, lady's
Mhm.
really into her books," thinking, like, nerd kids liking an author, it's not gonna be sold out, like, sold out immediately,
Oh.
like, you could not get in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And even on her website, I was like, "Thank you, lady."
Welcome.
Oh, oh,
So she has quite a
Oh.
few novels. She
Yeah.
has Drama,
okay.
Smile, yes, Drama, Smile, Guts, and some of them are autobiographical. This one is this is kind of like
That's
my writing process, autobiographical thing. She has a journal
Oh my
for
god,
kids.
that's so
so
It's
beautiful.
cool.
very cool. I
Yeah.
I
had no
know.
idea though that she had such a huge following, and it's actually kind of nice. Like, the kids are doing
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
besides Minecraft. They're liking this
I
graphic
know.
novelist. Like, the graphic novel world, um, is, like it's very cute, It's like,
Yeah,
"Kids, you can
Yeah.
draw about your feelings," and, like, comics are nerdy. I'm the world's worst artist, so I, like, love this for people who can draw. Like
yeah,
Lainey.
that's so
Lainey's
nice.
actually a good artist, so, she draws comics and stuff like that too. And I love, like, they're encouraging kids. They're like, "Oh, I used to play Dungeons& and Dragons and make comics, and I'm not a nerd." I'm like, "Aw, this is
Oh my god,
lovely."
Oh,
that's
It's
so
very
that's
lovely.
so
that's so cute.
oh my god. I love that. I mean, you and I mean, we all read at, like, a super young age, but there's so
Yeah,
many people who would have read more if the graphic novel
yeah,
structure was
Mhm.
there, genre, if you will.
The genre.
But yeah, because it is heavy on the novel portion of graphic novel. It's just, illustrated just makes it more
Yeah.
fun to read when kids are younger, and they're reading more because of it.
Yeah.
Like, when we were interviewed Alex, one of Melissa's sons, he was 4, and he's reading Captain Underpants, but, like,
Mhm.
it's blocks of text. I mean, it's
Yes.
blocks of small, dense text and then hilarious pictures of a superhero
Right.
in their underpants.
Right.
Like, and I'm just like,
yeah,
"Yeah." And, he was really reading it at one point, but I think it started because he liked the pictures. Alright, so because I mean, obviously, you've given us many genres, but let's say that your genre is mystery
Okay.
with a side of historical fiction. Would you keep reading those genres for the rest of your life, or would you cheat?
Oh, I would cheat. I am a cheater. I am not loyal. I'm already cheating. I was just gonna say, I didn't even tell you about this 3rd genre that I think I invented, that a lot of my books could fall into.
the teacher, "I'm a cheater."
100%, 100% I'm a cheater. What do you guys think about this as a genre? I know literary fiction encompasses a lot. What do you think about
Yeah.
this? Millennial nihilistic and internet anxiety
Oh, so
as
we
a
talking like
subgenre of literary fiction.
okay, give me an
Um,
Wow.
example because 'cause I'm
okay.
immediately thinking, like,
Gary Sh
tomorrow and tomorrow, but
I didn't actually read that one, but it could
okay.
fall under it. Gary Steingart, Super Sad True Love Story.
Oh, you've told me about that, and I still haven't read it, and you told me about that 10 years ago.
What about, Delphi?
Yeah,
No,
I feel like I've heard of it.
I don't know if I
Ghosts, Dolly Alderton. This is a good book. She's being ghosted by, like, her dating app boyfriend, and she's
Oh.
going through that. At the same time, her dad is going through Alzheimer's, and she's
Oh,
supporting him, and she's just kind of, like, navigating the world. It's not, like, a super action-packed novel, it's more of, like, introspective, and she's still single, most of her friends are married with kids, so it's, like, all the different ways we, like, kind of abandon each other, but the social commentary is just chef's kiss. It's Dolly Alderton, she's written a few novels, she's pretty well
okay.
followed, and then this has a I guess this could be a little bit of a romance, like an anti-romance maybe, but there is
Mm.
a romantic plot line about this guy that goes to her, and then she again, I don't wanna spoil her, there's a part where it's like, she gonna get closure or not? And then it's just like, you're kind of the ending is kind of like a sledgehammer to the brain, but it's perfect, it's
Oh.
perfect.
So this is like books that focus on very millennial themes?
Yes. Like
Okay.
like, Delphi takes place during COVID-19, for example, and
Okay.
it's this
All I could
woman
think
starting
of
to spiral. She's
all I
spiraling.
could think of was the Delphi murders, like, when you say that,
Oh,
and
yes, yes. No, it's a little
I'm
different. So she's
yeah.
obsessed with, like ancient curses, and I think she's like a classics professor or something like that. But she starts to spiral and her personal life spiral. I like a good spiral book too. I don't know if that's a
Mhm.
trope. Trope, right?
Interesting.
It's not a genre.
Yeah, that's a
I
trope.
do like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
like things are going from bad to worse, you know?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
with the famine
It
reading, it's like, okay, I'm
Yes.
escaping
yeah,
to a place worse than my life. So I come back and
Yeah.
I feel really excellent about
yeah.
everything that's happening. Um, this one is very Piglet. This has gotten a lot of talk
I've
recently.
also heard of that, yeah.
It's about a
Oh, I don't
woman
know if I
who,
have heard of it.
her nickname is Piglet for like some reason. It doesn't really I don't know, remember if it has a lot to do with the novel, but her fiancé betrays her, and they never say what the exact betrayal is, which I feel like is kind of annoying. Like, I know it's supposed to be like highbrow something. Like, did he cheat
Mhm.
on her or not? Like, just tell us.
I know, come on, like,
But
just
Yeah.
yeah.
other than that, it's good because then she starts to spiral and just like increasingly. Um, but I really like a book that has really good social commentary, whether you're reading the character's point of view, like first person
Mhm.
narration, and they're describing situations where you're like, "This is how I experience these situations. This is how I experience, like, a PTA meeting, or this is how I experience, like, a party where I know no
Oh,
one."
Okay.
Like, I that really resonates with me. Another one, this book was really good, but I can't recommend it to anyone. I can recommend it to you 2 because there's, like the book is called Human Blues. It's about this woman who um, isn't this is weird because this is like the main character is someone who I have nothing in common with. Yet, all of her day-to-day social commentary is like she's reading out of my soul, but her situation and the plot
Oh.
points are not relatable to me at all. So, major
yeah.
plot point is that she's actually an up and coming musician. That's not normally my type
Okay.
of read, but she's like playing shows and touring and she's kind of getting a little bit of hype. She's also trying to have a baby with her partner, but it's not working, and she is very anti-IVF. And so this is why I can't recommend it to people because the way she speaks about IVF is
Not
very
yeah.
insane, and I feel like it would offend people who have had
Yeah.
IVF.
Mhm.
That is not a road I've walked personally, but even I was like, "Oh, that's" it's like you're saying that,
That's a take.
like, the
Yeah.
sperm
Yeah.
is implanted into your egg and it's basically raping your egg, like, just, like, insane things, but what
Yikes.
the
Right.
theme is that she has to come to terms with the fact that if she really, really wants this thing, but she won't do anything to get it, and what does that look like, and how does that feel in life when you really want something,
Mm,
but there
but
is a
you don't do
limit
anything.
to what you will do to get it,
Yeah.
and I thought that theme in and of itself was very
It's very
interesting because I do
interesting.
think
Yeah.
everyone can relate to that theme, like, there's always something that you
Yeah.
really, really want in life, but you're not gonna sacrifice a certain thing that's important to you to get it, and you have
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
then therefore, as our friend Dina says, choose your choices.
Yeah.
It
That's
was a
right.
difficult
You gotta
read
choose
because
your
yeah,
choices.
sometimes I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, you have a really big opinion about this, and it's pretty
Different than
offensive."
a lot of others.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Objectively, probably not a great opinion, but
yeah,
it's one
it's
you feel serious about.
really yeah, it was kinda deep, but her party commentary and her, like,
Yeah.
day-to-day opinions
Yeah.
on things, I was like, "Oh, I really relate to this character, except
Yeah.
in everything that matters in life."
I think the book that me and Katie just read for the podcast, Half His Age, was
Mm.
sort of like that because even though it was Katie did not like this book, and it was you're not supposed
Ooh,
to like this book. This is supposed to be a hard read.
okay.
Like,
It's a
and it's
hard read.
about it's Lolita if Lolita told the story.
Mm,
And Jeanette McCurdy
yes.
wrote it, and it's she has a very particular writing style. After this, I read her memoir because I wanted to see if the writing style at least went through, and it does. So very short chapters, short sentences, to the point, like very staccato, very honestly kind of almost script-like, I think
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
coming from the time that she was an actress. And
Ah,
this book
gotcha.
is It's crass, it's in your face, but at the same time, the social commentary of it, the main character, the Lolita, who's 17 right now in this world,
Oh,
and
yes.
everything that she says, every observation she makes, everything that happens both with the boys her own age that she's dating and then the teacher that she ends up in a
Mhm.
relationship with, and the way that that relationship, like, goes is so real. It's, like, the realest commentary on what this
Yes.
is, on,
Right,
like, what living in this world is, and while I'm not a 17, 18-year-old girl, I'd imagine
right.
this is how I'd feel.
Wait, you'll appreciate, she talks about she works at Victoria's Secret, and you will really appreciate
The
her
way she talks about
her
Victoria's Secret.
retail
Yes,
commentary. That
yes.
I was like, "This is so hilarious,"
As
because
former
Yeah.
it's so
Brocketers, yes.
I was
as
gonna
we
say,
all know.
as me and Nikki both worked in different, underwear emporiums, but not Victoria's Secret, but we did work in underwear emporiums. But yeah, like, that was a good I say, like, that's what I take away from that book. Like, that is truly a book that I can't necessarily recommend to
Yes,
anybody unless you're interested in just, like, a really interesting
I
read with
am,
some strong social
actually.
commentary. Like,
I
You know what? Try it then,
I'm gonna try it.
ooh,
and
and
let
then
us know.
try this one. You might like this one too because I keep wanting to recommend it to any of my friends with
Yes.
kids.
Oh, I took that out of the library.
Yeah.
I took
Oh,
it out of
so
the
girl
library.
dinner?
Yes.
I'm
I have
interested
it
to
on
hear
my
your
Yeah.
Libby
thoughts
right
on
now.
this.
Yeah. That's right.
I forgot until this moment. I took it out on my Libby and then, like, I read it at work sometimes.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I forget that I have things on Libby because I got,
Yeah.
like, 3 books going at once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fun. Read it and then
yes,
tell me.
Yeah.
yes, I'll have to finish it. Maybe I'll finish it on spring break because I have my little phone. I could, you know, off
Oh, yeah.
moments.
Cute.
Oh,
Well, thank you, Nikki.
well, thank
Thank you
you
so
guys.
much.
This was
Yeah.
very fun. I always love yenting about books,
I know.
Mm.
and, I'm very excited of all the recommendations that have been coming out of this podcast. I'm branching out, baby. I'm a cheater and I'm branching out.
Yeah. That's right.
That's that's Nikki. She's a cheater, and she's branching out. All right. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, no genre shaming unless it's funny. Bye.
Bye.